please.
You got it, Kat.
All right, Coach, why don't you begin with an opening statement?
Yeah, really proud of the football team today. It was not pretty, wasn't our best performance top to bottom, but really responded. We hadn't been challenged all year, and I was concerned with so many new faces about what that response would be. And today, I think you saw a team that's committed to each other, a team that responds, a team that's never out of the fight. They took some of the things that we really talk about. We talk about the swing 8. We end up winning the swing 8, 10-0 right there. We talk about forcing turnovers, obviously 2-0. And then we talk about, as an offense, you always want to finish the game with the ball in your hand. And today reminded me of the Middle Tennessee game last year, where if we give them the ball back, they've got all the momentum. We're not playing the way we need to on defense right there in that last instance. And Brady and Luther complete a big-time third down, and then Brady keeps that on the zone read at the end. So really proud of them for those things. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff to take off the tape. I mean, fourth down of the game, we're in zone. It's inexcusable for that ball to even be completed. They fumble a ball, and we have everybody on the defense run up instead of staying in coverage. And then that last touchdown, it's cover 3. I know Corey's disappointed. I thought he did a really good job stopping the run. But, we found out a lot about our guys today on both sides of the ball. The penalties, those are on me. I mean, at the end of the day, those are on me. And they said they captured me getting on Luther pretty good about it. And that's the bottom line. That was selfish football, and it's got to get cleaned up. But sure glad he's on our team for 100-something yards. So with that, I'll take it for questions.
Eli, what was the message at halftime? You mentioned the swing 8. What was the message to the guys?
We had them right where we needed them to be. We needed to finish. I thought it was going to come down to conditioning. You could tell it was getting hot out there. I thought our guys were like we said, we went right down and scored. I thought we were really in a peak position. But turnovers right there between the penalties in the third quarter. I've never seen that many flags on a single offense in my time. So got to go back and watch that and go from there.
Eli, you mentioned the defensive approach a little bit. Can you address kind of what the plan was? It looked, that you rushed 3 a lot of the day, just trying to keep them in the pocket.
Yeah, anytime you rush past an athletic quarterback like that, then you're playing with 10. And so we felt like that we had an advantage if we would keep them in the pocket. And, we did that for most of the game. You just can't bust coverages when you're doing that. So I thought they had a great plan, obviously, at the end of half to be able to stuff them right there, get us the ball back, go down and score. Third quarter, they really didn't do anything.
Just you mentioned that there, what did you see on those 2 busted coverages?
Yeah, just eyes in the backfield. So stuff that's got to get addressed.
Incredible game.
Blake Craig, difference in the game. Yep. Yeah, I think there's a lot of questions about his field goals last week, and I said I wasn't really concerned about it because I know he's got the leg for him to hit that 57-yarder at the end of half. I think gave our team a lot of confidence going into the half, and he had an excellent game today.
Coach, the rushing lanes for Nate and Marcus were pretty wide from the get-go. Talk about your offensive line at the point of attack today.
Yeah, I think they did a really good job. Obviously, we got our outside zone working, and Nate and Marcus both do a really good job countering it. I thought the offensive line, we weren't able to get up to the second level as effectively in the second half, and we weren't finishing our blocks right there in the fourth quarter. But again, did enough to win the game.
Coach, you talk about wanting to see what the response would be from your team. At what point did you feel confident that it was the response you were looking for?
When they went down and scored, our offense went down and kicked the field goal. I felt like we were going to be fine moving the ball. It's just a continued, missed execution here, and that stuff's going to have to. If we want to be the team we want to be, we got to take personal responsibility in that. So.
How much did the game kind of shift in some ways on Tre-Vez's interception?
I think it shifted a whole lot. we just kicked the field goal. Tre-Vez gets the interception. Great return yardage. I'm not sure. I think it was a 3 or 4 play drive right there. I told everybody on the headsets that we were going to go for 2 when we scored the next possession, because I just felt like we had fought so hard to get back in there. I wanted the game to be tied. So was really proud of Vez for setting us up, the offense for responding, and then the execution of the 2-point play.
A lot of defenses are focused on him, and that's going to be increasing. But would you like to see Luther get more involved earlier in the game? Is that something that is a focus for you guys? I don't think he had a touch in the first second with you.
We got a lot of really good players, and the ball finds the players it's supposed to it's supposed to. If we were talking about the end of the first half, I would be concerned, but I'm not concerned. There's a couple of plays that were designed for him to be option A or B right there, and the quarterback, the other guy was open. So it is what it is. He has to maximize his opportunity, and he's got to stay disciplined in the third quarter.
Coach, talk about your defense and how they did stopping the run.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the key. We really felt like if we could stuff the run and contain the quarterback, that was the key to having success. And we really did that. We stuffed the run. We contained the quarterback after that first drive. I felt like we got into a rhythm of really compressing him in the pocket, and that was really the key for us. So,
You mentioned the 2-point play. You go for 2 4th downs there on kind of that last drive. Is that just an approach of we're trying to end this, without them?
Well, the approach right there was the ball was like at the 37, and there's no real statistical difference between being up 13 or 10. In fact, you could argue it's worse for you to be up 13 than 10 because they know that there's no longer a third down component. They got to go for it on 4th down, and so at that point, without really being able to flip the field, felt like at 4th and 4 that was a very makeable 4th down. Same thing on the 4th and 2. When we didn't get it on the 3rd and 4, and we actually lost 5 yards at that point, it was going to be better off to take the points.
Well, the 2-point play, just curious what you saw, maybe timeout and how that play sort of developed.
We lined up wrong. Yep, that's why we had to call timeout. We lined up wrong.
We'll talk about halftime adjustments. Was there an adjustment? Was there a mindset difference between the first and the second quarter? Because it flipped quite a bit in the first and second quarter. You get 14 points over half.
Again, guys, it was the first time that we had to face some adversity, and I think everybody kind of had to settle into what that fist fight was going to be, and that's really what happened. We kind of settled into what the fist fight was going to be and what we were going to have to do in order to respond. I knew it was going to. Obviously, I thought we would start faster than that, but we didn't, and so that's the response. Said in the locker room, it's great to be 3-0. But there's got to be a lot of improvement in order for us to take on the SEC, which is what next week is.
Coach, 12 plays at 10 yards or more. How does getting those chunk plays kind of open up the floor of the offense?
Yeah, I thought we did a better job of creating some explosives in the pass game. Obviously, Luther had the big one. Mookie had 2, and then some of the run lanes. So those are always important. Got to keep searching for them.
22 carries for Noel, big game for him, 121 yards. Just kind of talk about him, and do you consider it at this point kind of riding the hot hand?
Well, I think he got really hot on the outside zone, and he's just got so much experience carrying that play. We felt like it was going to be an outside zone game, and so that's kind of where we were going with him. Obviously, Nate or Marcus did a really good job getting his shoulders down, and I believe that last drive of the game was Marcus getting us the dirty 8 yards, and then obviously Brady finishing off right there. So, it's going to be whoever fits the strengths the most. So, hot hand, scheme decision, whatever.
Getting Brett back, do you feel like he got into the flow of the game and came out of unscathed?
Yeah, I haven't got any updates on injury report. Had a couple of catches. We had a couple more design plays in there that we just didn't get to. It's always great to have him back. We were a little bit worried about making sure we didn't do too much with him in the run game just because of that shoulder. But every week, every day he's getting a little bit stronger. So always good to have him back.
How important do you think that the timing of the Drayden Norwood pick was, especially after the last offensive series and what happened there?
Anytime you get turnovers, I think we turned it into 3 points right there. That was the one we went for it on 4th down twice. Was awesome. It was really good because we had done the exact same thing. When he scrambled, we all just took off running like a dadgum Little League football team chasing the ball. So fortunate for us that Drayden had enough wherewithal to stay in zone cover.
You mentioned the response of your team, especially with so many new guys. Is that just you can't replicate.
You
that
don't
in
know.
Practice, right?
You have no idea. You have no idea. And you got to remember, I got new staff members. I got a lot of new staff. I got a lot of new players. And so for us to have to face some adversity and then figure out who we are, who we can count on, what are you going to do when your back's against the wall and you're tired, I think was really important. And then, guys who fell short of the standard today, they got to look themselves in the eye, look themselves in the mirror and say, I'm going to pick myself up and figure out how to improve and not let this happen again.
Coach, with some of the new staff, what did you see from Coach Batoon today and how he was then able to respond?
That dude's cool as a cucumber, man. Nothing phases him. I mean, just up there dialing up great calls. He did lose it a little bit on the last coverage bust, but he's a vet. Can't say enough great things about him and the calming presence and the tactical advantages that he gives us. Again, disappointed that we gave up that many points, but he did a really good job keeping our guys focused for a very difficult contain. And really, the next week's quarterback is going to be real similar. So, we're going to have to. It's been real similar for the last 3 weeks.
Eli, not to belabor the penalty thing, but you're clearly frustrated about it. Were you worried for a second that Luther might be out of the game after that second flag in the third there?
If he was,
The reason I ask is because he catches that third.
Yeah, look, at the end of the day, I'm not going to get fined. The same crew that had the Georgia-Clemson game. So, don't know. ACC crew, same crew as the Georgia-Clemson game. So, I don't know.
Coach, thank you.
Good job, Cap. MIC. Good job.
Thanks, Coach. Luther Burton the third. I'm going to take questions.
Luther, Coach talked about the way you guys responded the first time you were kind of put in a tough position. Just what did you find out about your team today?
I found out that, I didn't really find out nothing. I really, everybody else really found out. I knew we were, we're going to keep swinging no matter what, so I already knew that.
Luther, how important is it to, face that kind of adversity before you get into SEC play?
It's a great test. It's great for our team, clearly, and I think it's going to, help us in the long run.
Luther, on your touchdown catch, at what point in that move did you know you were going to score?
As soon as I got it.
Luther, when you don't have a touch like the first quarter, how do you work to kind of get into the offense there? Obviously, you probably had some plays where you could have got the ball earlier, but when you don't get touches early, does that make it a little harder to get going?
No, it don't make it harder. When I get the ball, I'm just trying to do what's best for my team, no matter when. I know my team gonna count on me, to make plays, and I'm gonna count on them to give me the ball. So it's hand to hand.
They're not asking about the calls, but what do you learn from the situations that led to the penalties, and how you kind of process what happened in the second half?
I just gotta, cut the nonsense out, stay composure, and I don't want to put my team in that position anymore. So I'm glad to learn from it.
You had two massive chunk plays. When you get those chunk plays, how does that kind of open up the rest of your game?
Like I said, when I get the ball, I'm just trying to make a play. I'm trying to make the best play for my team. Whatever that is, however I get the ball, it's just time to go to work.
Luther, you got a big 11-yard catch there at the end of the game on third down. What does that mean for your team, for that confidence it gives you at the end of the game, and what does it mean to help secure the win at the end?
It means everything. We needed the play. We needed a first down, and I think I've earned that, respect and trust. My team can count on me third down. So let's go.
Luther, last week it was Theo with the big game today. You had some huge receptions, Mookie as well down the seam. How big is it to have so many different guys involved, especially in the vertical game that you're heading into SEC play?
I love it. I love that my guys making plays because we worked all year for like 12 opportunities guaranteed. So I'm happy that they out there making plays with me.
There's the only game in the country today that featured 2 ranked opponents. You think you guys kind of send a message to folks following your games?
Definitely. It's kind of, to me, it's disrespect to not have us like on the big stage with the big TV cameras and stuff. So I took that personal, and I'm pretty sure everybody else in that locker room took it personal. So we ain't going nowhere. So we here to stay.
What was the biggest thing that you showed today?
The biggest thing we showed, I'll say the fight never over. Because, we went down, 14-3, and, that can get ugly real fast. So for us to turn it around and defense, get a stop and us go score right after that, that's good for heading into the rest of the season.
So kind of on that note, how important do you think momentum, the emotional swings were in this game, and how do you think your team responded with it?
It was great. I mean, I feel like this was the first time the offense actually capitalized off of a stop. Because last week, did we get a turnover? Was it week 1?
Well, week 2, Marvin had that.
Marvin, yeah, it was last week. Yeah, last week, the coach made a big emphasis on, we got to score after turnovers. So I was glad to see it happen today.
On that note, with Tre-Vez's interception, Drinkwitz or Eli just talked about how important that was, kind of shifting the game around. Did you feel that as well?
Yeah, I definitely felt it. It was a great play. The team needed it, and so we capitalized off of it.
Luther, Marcus Johnson had a great special teams play today. How'd that affect the wide receiver room and you guys all turned it up after that?
I'm so mad I didn't get to see it, but I heard he went down there and smacked somebody. So it's real good for Marquise because he's been talking about it, smacking somebody all year on punt. So for practice execution to happen in the game, I'm proud of him.
What can having North League back now do for your offense? You mixes right in, you guys catch passes.
Bridge is gonna open it up even more. So.
Luther, from your vantage point, watching the defense get tested with Castellanos and then make an adjustment, kind of contain them a little bit more, what does that say about their toughness and the toughness of your team as a whole?
It says, that the team is, not out the fight. They could have laid down simply and just keep letting them score, and they put a stop to it, and it just went up from there. So I'm proud of them.
How y'all doing?
The interception, what do you see when you see that ball floated in the air a little bit?
I was just thinking catch it, man. Make sure I made a play. It was a great call. We in the perfect call for that play to go against them. So, it was exciting.
Tre-Vez, can you take us through kind of the game plan going in? Pretty obvious you guys didn't want to rush and put too much pressure on you.
The main thing was stop the run, then get after the quarterback. And our third thing was to create takeaways, and I think we did all 3 of those, especially in the second half. Just limit the mistakes and get back to our ball.
What was the message, I guess, when they go 14-3 and you guys kind of settling in and locking into your keys to stop?
Just don't flinch. Knew it was going to be a fight. Just to, throw them back. Don't don't take too many blows, but if you do, you know we throwing it back. You knew it was going to be a fight. We knew what kind of game it was going to be. So it was kind of a just don't flinch mindset.
Tre-Vez, BC gives you so many different looks coming out of the backfield. How hard is it for the defense to be able to, how much of a challenge is it to communicate and to kind of maintain that gap integrity? Just how much?
I mean, that was another one of our main emphasis this week was make sure we communicate. We knew they were going to give us a lot of movement, pre-snap, post-snap, a lot of motion. So just the main thing was get our cleats set, communicate, and play ball.
Guys, how important is it, to face this kind of adversity, see how this team responds, before you get to SEC play?
I mean, it was great. I mean, to know that, we're ready for the fight. Being don't break mindset, it might be an up and down game, but I know I can count on the guys in that locker room.
When you have to take away in the offense in terms of the points, does that change how a game feels, especially a game like this?
Definitely. I mean, it was definitely a big momentum shift in the game. But even after that, the game's not over. We got to keep it going. I mean, you see, they made it a little bit close at the end, but we kept throwing punches.
Let's talk about some of the difficulties that facing a mobile quarterback can do for a secondary when somebody can extend plays as long as Castellanos good.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, it just means we got to cover longer as DBs. And then him being such a good runner, you got to also have your eyes on in the backfield for the quarterback. So, I mean, he created a lot of confusion, a lot of problems, but like I said, the game plan, we went out and executed and came out with a win.
Because on your interception, just how important do you think that was for just the momentum to have a big play?
I mean, it was great, but I mean, I can't do nothing but thank God, man. It was right spot, right time, and then just to give us the opportunity to come out with a win. I mean, it's just a blessing.
Touched on it a little bit ago of being able to respond to adversity, but just what was the mindset after the defense kind of gets paper cut it down on that first drive, allows for a touchdown of the season? What was the mindset, and how do you think the group responded to that?
Don't flinch, I think we responded great to it, to come out here with a dub. Yeah, man.
How much of Luther's touchdown did you see?
Say it again?
How much of Luther's touchdown right after your pick did you see?
I seen it. Yeah, I was watching it all the time. Yeah.
I mean, explain that play, how difficult it is to do what he does.
I mean, that's another momentum shift in the game. Big play we needed. That's one of our best playmakers. I think one, if not the best playmaker in college football. So, just get a ball to 3. I mean, he did what do what he's gonna do.
Tre-Vez, you've been going against this receiver group for a couple of months now. What can you say about them and how tough they've been to cover in practice leading up to this?
The best in the nation. As an NWO, every day from the one to the last guy, like that's the best receiving core in the nation, and I wholeheartedly believe that. And it's great to go against them every day in practice because I feel like I won't see anybody else better than anybody in that building, in this building. Thank you.
Four carries that went 10 or more yards. What were you saying through some of these lanes that your offensive line was
I was smiling going through the whole line. I was just like, oh my, I got all this space. I was just thinking of my next moves, really. It was nice.
Nate, you guys haven't been really tested at all the first 2 weeks. I mean, it wasn't really going to snap where a game was in doubt. What do you find out about your team in a game like this?
I feel like we already knew about each other, like just going through the summer, through the fall with these guys, through the spring, I just seen the different dog in everybody. Like we got that dog as a team, so it was just nice to see like nobody even flinched. Like on the sideline, both sides just giving words of encouragement to each other, and it was nice to see. I feel like it really uplifted the spirit, and we were able to get the job done because of that.
Nate, a few minutes ago, Coach was here at the podium. He talked about how this was identified as an outside zone sort of game. When you see that sort of matchup on paper, and then you're out there in the midst of it, how much do you relish that sort of opportunity, given your background against it?
I just smile at the moment. Like I know it's gonna be a big game. I know they're gonna depend on me just like I depend on everybody else. So I just know I got to do my part and just get the job done on my end as well.
One of the newer parts of this team, just how important was it for this locker room to get the response it did today?
It was very important because, like I said, we've been through it and been through situations in spring, fall camp with each other. Like we already knew what we had, but to do it against another team and to go up against another team back against the wall and nobody flinch, that just shows like we really bought in.
22 carries for you today. You just talk about getting into the flow of the game, and when you have that amount of carries is for the first time this season. What that meant for you and how you handled that.
I really didn't notice it until after the game, like just hearing it after. But during the game, it was just this play. Like I'm worried about this play. Like I didn't even know like my stats or anything, but I knew like that we needed to win. I knew that we needed to finish the game. I just knew that we're up. I mean, that we're down at one point, and then now we're up. Now we need to keep the lead.
How would you describe Luther Burden with the ball in his hands?
Oh, electrifying. That's just one word to describe it, electrifying.
What did you see on that touchdown catch from Luther?
I honestly thought the play was a little dead. Like, I thought it was over with, so I kind of looked over it, and I seen him burst through it, and, like, it was amazing to see. It was amazing to see.
Luther was talking about feeling a little bit disrespected that this game, ranked versus ranked team game, didn't get the national coverage or whatever. Was that a sentiment felt throughout the locker room?
Oh, yeah, definitely. We definitely took that into account when we were preparing and stuff like that. Just like we just aren't respected enough. Like we still have something to prove, and that's how we need to work and show ourselves every week.
Nate, from an individual standpoint, what do you think you've developed and progressed most this fall so far compared to last year at App State?
I think just around the coaches, I just became a smarter football player. They were able to help me with a lot more situations, and I was able to learn the game a little bit more, even though I thought I knew a lot about it, but I really didn't know anything for real before coming here.
Your team goes down 14-3. Honestly, the stadium was kind of the quietest it had been all season. Now, on the sideline, what's the message? How do you get that crowd back into the game and get your momentum back?
Well, on the sideline, we were just worried about each other. Like, we just have to have each other's back. Like, as long as everybody on that field knows that we can do this and we wouldn't flinch or anything at the situation, then it was good. So words back and forth, I was basically saying we were just encouraging each other on offense and defense.
What was your view of Blake's long field goal there going into halftime?
Oh, that was nice. It was amazing. I haven't really seen a field goal like that in a while. Like I haven't seen a deep field goal for real in a little minute. So it was nice to see, especially going into the half to take a little bit of momentum. Yeah, it was nice.
What can you say about the team's ability to play complementary football in this game? I mean, both sides kind of had their low moments and struggles, but then in multiple occasions, each side had each other's back.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the chemistry that we built leading up to this, like all the months preparing before. Like I knew that the defense was gonna have our back, and the defense knew that we would have their back. Like off the touchdown coming off the field, we're giving them words of encouragement, like we got y'all, we about to go score, We didn't score that next drive, but the next drive after they scored again, we still was saying the same words, like we got y'all, like we got each other back, and everybody buying in, everybody believed each other. So I feel like that was a big part.
What do you expect as far as preparing to move forward and to cut down on penalties? Do you expect to have
Yes, I feel like we have to get back to our fundamentals and just do the simple things right. Just go back to the drawing board, see where we messed up, and just fix those in practice. I don't think it's really too many big errors, but definitely detailed mistakes.
The coach described you as the hot hand earlier today. What does it mean to have a label like that placed on you by a coach?
I appreciate it. I definitely do. I mean, that's what I came here for. I came here to be a hot hand. I came here to just do what I can do to help the team. But also, I feel like all the running backs, we all have our roles. Like, if I'm the hot hand, this guy's a hot hand too in his way, and he's also a hot hand. And I just feel like all us coming together is like the biggest hot hand for real.
Hey, can you talk about where your relationship with Coach Drinkwitz stems from? Was it back when he was at App State before he left?
It actually wasn't from when he was at App State. We didn't talk when he was at App State. I mean, obviously, I knew about him because of the class before. Would just talk about him all the time, especially all my 4 years. Like, I always hear about Drinkwitz, but I never really met him until I got in the portal, and then I got to speaking with him and Coach Looper, and it was just like I was bought in. Him, Coach Kirby Moore, Coach Loop, everybody was just genuine. So I was bought in.
Hey, Brady Cook on that rushing touchdown broke a guy's ankles. What was your perception of that?
I was shocked. Like, I was just on the field like, whoa. Like, I didn't think he had it in him. I ain't gonna lie. I didn't think he had that in him. That was nice. That was a nice move right there. I was amazed.
All right, thank you, Nate.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, thank you all. Appreciate it.